Might go skydiving for the first time ever. I'm glad you guys are excited. Now I feel like I might disappoint some of you guys. New chair. I've had this chair for a while. I alternate between this chair and the other chair. But we'll use this chair for casting. I like the other chair for playing. I like this one for casting. MilkiCow and Mute are in the channel. They are currently doing their videos. I did already say that I'm not getting married and I'm not becoming a dad. That's not it now. What it is actually is, you guys will know soon. It's hard to guess. Don't get too excited. This is something that I like to share because I'm hyped. I'm excited. I'll do it after the best of 5. And after the best of 5, we'll take a break. Then we'll give a little story behind the main event. Why DNS? Well, because I think he's a legend. And I like inviting some of the old guys. Like, I can invite Spirit and HeroMarine and Clem and MaxPax every week. But I think once in a while, it's also nice to invite some of the guys from the past. And DNS, obviously, is a dude who's been around for such a long time. In my eyes, always a gentleman in the scene. And he's still playing, and he's still damn good. He's not playing in too many of the weekly cups, but I just decided to do something nice for DNS. Old school French Protoss against the new school French Protoss. That is the story tonight. More about that later. Alright, I'm ready. Mute's ready. Mute, I think, is 0-2, but he gave us a really good series a while ago against Sabadas. MilkiCow, just like Special, played a couple weeks. Didn't look as good yet as he did in the past. But I saw him more recently in the weekly and he looked damn good. Mute has also been looking damn good. I'll let them know that I'm ready. The nerds are gonna kick things off over on ley lines. 7 cats. I'm telling Vicky Wingend that I want to get a British short hair. C loves cats. I'm allergic to cats, so C says that I can't have a cat. But I think the British short hair, I think it'd be a good addition to the household. But no, that's not the announcement either. Puppy would be amazing, but I'll leave it in the middle. The never-ending breaks, yeah, mate, because there's so many breaks in this stream. Oh my gosh, this guy, like, I'm literally never here. I'm basically always AFK.
Let's get it on. Round 1, fight.
Bottom left side of ley lines, we are looking at the main base of an up-and-coming Protoss. And that is not a term that I use for everybody, because I think it's lame if you use it for everyone. But this kid really kind of came out of nowhere for me. A couple months ago, I heard about him for the first time, and he's been damn good. He's always playing, mega motivated. A Peruvian Protoss player called Mute. Nice guy. Has played some amazing games already. I'm excited to see him tonight. I know that he's pumped up for this opportunity against this man who has definitely played way more often in the Big Brain Bouts. But he took a break because, guys, believe it or not, he got addicted to deadlock. That couldn't happen to me, but he basically stopped playing Starcraft for a while. Once upon a time, a solid WCS top 32 Europe player. Once in a while, even top 16. And then he started playing Viscous or something all day, every day. I mean, it all went wrong. But he's back. He's enjoying Starcraft again, and that makes me happy. This is MilkiCow. In his words, he was an Eternus 1 Viscous. But then I spoke to somebody else that is incredibly good in deadlock. And he started laughing and said there is no way that MilkiCow was Eternus 1. Eternus 1 is the absolute highest league in deadlock. There are 11 leagues. I'm currently in Archon, which is League 6 out of 11. After Archon, you got Oracle, then you've got Phantom, then you got Ascended, and then you have Eternus. The absolute god tier gamers are Eternus. MilkiCow said he was Eternus. Some of his fellow StarCraft 2 players did not believe him. But that's all we'll say about it. Now he's playing StarCraft again, and it makes me happy. And I think it was either last Monday or 2 weeks ago that I casted one of his games. And he looked good again. He looked like the Milky of old. He was fast. He was multitasking. He was microing well. Yeah, it's 11 leagues with 6 subdivisions. So, but I like that. Because what I've personally been vocal about as well in StarCraft 2 is that for a guy like me, laddering, it can still be fun. But it's just fun because of the game. It's not because I can set goals or achievements. Like, I've been GM for 12, 13 years straight. Will always be GM. I can't really go up. I can't go down. Yeah, you can get higher in GM, but that more has to do with which guys are currently laddering and which guys are not. And MMR has just kind of gone down over time because the player base has been shrinking. So if you set a record a long time ago, trying to break that record right now is borderline impossible. So I personally love the idea of having something like 11 different leagues. where there's like daily promotions, daily demotions, and you know, you can really follow your progress. I hope that one day we get a little bit of a rework on the ladder. It'd be fun. Mute in his first adept, already killing an SCV, killing a Marine. That's obviously quite good. He does get cleaned up by the Hellions. But the good news is that he knows about Hellions. The bad news is that he doesn't know yet about that proxy starport. We have decent SimCity in the main, but obviously if the Hellions immediately go on the left side, then they can go through here, but they can also just drive through this area and then work on the probes. This could hurt. Mute is about to get the heads up that it's not just, I want to say 2 Hellions, but it is just 2 Hellions. It's 2 more Hellions, and they can drive into the natural, and they will get in as well. This is a strong start for MilkiCow. And he should be able to kill probably like 11 workers or something here. He's already getting 11. It's going to be even more than that. Make it 13, and the Stalkers are not in any position to deal with these Hellions. A mega start for MilkiCow. Okay, this is a nightmare for Mute. I'm a little cursed, guys. We saw a couple of absolute epic games. Can Mute get the medevac? Okay, he does get the medevac, but 19 workers is ridiculous. Couple of brutal games so far here on the Friday night. On this very special Friday. And they need to fix the Masters League bug. They need to fix the team divisions. They need to fix a lot of things on Battle.net. But that means expecting things from Activision, Blizzard, Microsoft, whatever. 15, 20 years ago, guys, I expected everything to be fixed in no time. Because Blizzard was so freaking awesome. So good to their gamers back then. It's definitely not the same company as it once upon a time was. He got 19 workers. That is a normally game-ending amount of damage, and that's why I said it is very brutal. Mute is obviously not just going to give up yet. There is $100 on the line for the winner of this best of 5, $25 for the loser. You don't leave games early. When you're playing a single best of 5 for prize money, you're going to do your best. Same, Bully. If this was a ladder game, I'd be out of here. There are some days where I'm in a really good mood and I'm willing to take a bit of a beating and still give it a shot. But I think even if my mood is mega, if I lose 20 workers against 4 Hellions, I'm like, alright, he got me. Congrats, mate, you got me. It is what it is. Mute is gonna try to find his own damage, and the Stalkers are, I mean, finding a few SCVs, a little bit of lost mining time, but it also means they're now stuck. Oh my goodness, they're mega stuck and they've already blinked, and that means we're gonna lose 4 or 5 Stalkers. We may as well leave. I will not be upset if you leave here, Mute. It's a game from hell. It is just a game from hell. The Terrans are just destroying the Protosses over here on the Friday night. Is this Roddy's agenda, where he picks better Terran players than Protoss players to make it look like Terran is still good and they're winning, and he will use it as a balance argument? Is that what's happening over here on the Friday night? Is everyone just being lied to? Thank you to SC2DE for the raid. Ich wünsche dir ein schönes Abend. Vielen Dank, mein Freund oder Freundin. Vielleicht Freundin. You never know. Poor Mute. Danke, Roddy. Milky is probably just going to end this game here, guys. Mute has obviously lost so many workers in the beginning of this game, and then even losing 5 of the Stalkers. He's just got nothing. Like, he really does not have anything. He's gonna warp in 3 more Zealots, 9 Zealots, and Immortal. A lot of the Marines are a little bit overstimmed. Tiny chance, perhaps, guys. Power of the Zealots. One time and one time only. Stalker's trying to pick up some reinforcements. He's doing a good job here in waiting. It's actually good that he waited, that he didn't just attack with 3. That's actually enough Zealots. And MilkiCow is not reacting, so the Marines and Marauders are getting slaughtered, and that means that one of the tanks is gonna get picked off as well. And Mute with the incredibly unlikely hold, because MilkiCow decided to go AFK. Maybe the borscht was boiling in the kitchen or something. I don't know what happened there, but that was not quite the same Terran as we saw in the first 3 minutes. And all of a sudden, is Protoss back on the menu? Nexus is still going to fall, and that's incredibly unfortunate. That went as good as it could ever go for Mute, but unfortunately he sent everything into the main. And now he still ends up losing the Nexus. Might get the medevac here though. He should get the medevac with a blink. Yep, target it. Yep, he's gonna get it. He's gonna get that Marauder. He's gonna get the tank. And at the same time, the Zealots are still gonna kill the Marine and the 2 Marauders in the center. MilkiCow does have a couple Widow Mines. That is a really good Widow Mine connection as it splashes over 5 or 6 Zealots. Do we have a safety bunker? We don't. Imagine a world here with a pylon, a warp prism, a gate to warp in a couple units. Okay, at least the game will sort of go on. I still think it's a very big Terran advantage. No Protoss ever wants to lose the third. No Protoss ever wants to be down 4 workers and have no upgrades, no Robo Bay. It's looking bad for our Peruvian friend, but well, after that start, I almost say that he's turning this into a theoretical W. Roddy German cast. Nicht heute Abend. Mein Deutsch ist nicht so gut. Aber vielleicht in 3 Monaten auf der Home Story Cup. Das wäre sehr geil. Milky is casually pulling the boys. I don't know why. I mean, it's gonna work, so I guess it's good. This is Diffuser, where you have 3 orbitals, but you're also casually bringing the boys to the other side of the map. Because you know that all you're gonna fight are a couple of Zealots and Stalkers, and Zealots and Stalkers are not gonna do that good against SCVs, especially not in these numbers. Mute looks at it and says, you know what, I don't think I can fight that. I'm gonna try to make this game very chaotic and base straight. I don't know what that means to this army. Maybe he's hoping that MilkiCow stims a couple times. We activated Guardian Shield very early. Can the Zealots get in? The SCV human meat shield is too good. Couple Stalkers blink into the main. Zealots do find another opening, but Mute obviously running out of steam. Honestly, good effort for how disastrous the start was. I applaud Mute for even trying. I think a lot of guys would have just waved the white flag. But it's still Milky who takes the 1-0 lead. But Milky's also going to have to clean it up a little bit. Perhaps this was one of these moments where in his mind he's just so far ahead that nothing could ever go wrong, and then all of a sudden you get a move by 9 Zealots and you forgot that you still have to micro a little bit. I don't expect him to have that kind of control if game 2 is this close. No. It's Peruvian. MilkiCow's hitting me up with the EU game 2. I'm like, you know, if somebody is from Mexico or someone's from Canada, like I'm all for going back and forth Europe and a little bit, but asking the Peruvian to play on Europe doesn't seem very fair. I think if it's Mexico against Europe, I sometimes do like NA, Europe, NA. I think that's kind of fair because maybe everything on the NA is like slightly better for the Mexican player, but obviously North America is such a freaking large continent that if you live somewhere in Mexico, you're not going to have 0 ping to NA Central. They often will still end up with like 60, 70, 80. But especially someone from Peru, I'm not going to make our Peruvian Protoss play on Europe. What's your ping to? You have 50? Yeah. I mean, 50 is good, but it's obviously not 0, right? Not like MilkiCow would have 0 to Europe, but I have. Game 2 will be played on Amygdala. That's the wrong scoreboard. Bam!
Round 2, fight!
Here we go. Top right side of Amygdala. We are looking at the main base of our Peruvian Protoss. A very rough start to that game. He saw the Hellions. He just didn't expect the Hellion drop, and then he moved everything to the main, and the natural was wide open. Bit of a horror show, but after that, honestly, did good with the very few tools that he had. This is our Peruvian Protoss, Mute, trying to get his first W on the Friday night. Those W's don't come easy, as he has to duke it out with this man. Our Russian Terran taking a 1-0 lead. Looked very sharp in the beginning, looked a little bit sloppy afterwards, but he was so far ahead that it didn't matter. This is MilkiCow. People are excited to see you Zerg on the Monday night, Juanito. I'm gonna imagine a world where on Monday, guys, somehow, obviously Lambo and Laser, Reynor and Serral don't sign up, but then Fjant decides to not sign up, Mixer doesn't sign up, Vanya doesn't sign up, Young Yakov doesn't sign up, Nikic doesn't sign up. then we're actually in a bit of trouble. Even then, I think Juanita will struggle. But then I start getting worried. As long as any of those guys is in, I'm not too worried. But if they all skip, yeah, then I'm a little bit concerned. If you guys have no idea what we're talking about, Special said that he thought he could get the $25 bonus for the Monday Night Weekly that I promised for the first 4, and then it became the first 8 weeks of the Monday Night Weekly. And Special said that he thought he could get it with his Zerk. I said there is no way. And then a couple other people jumped in and said, I'll give him 25 too. I'll give him 25. So now it's $100 if Special is the highest placing Zerk upcoming Monday night in the Monday Night Weekly. Catholic is a little bit weird, bully. I don't know. He's just, I think he's like a semi-troll. I wouldn't take him too serious. Announcement made in Discord already. They beat you to it. No way. They beat me to it. My speech. It's okay. I'll take a look at it after this game, and then we'll touch upon it briefly before we hop into game 3. But it's okay. Like, it was supposed to be announced, but yeah, I kind of wanted to do it before the main event. But it's all right. Thank you, Vonru. You guys can take a look at the Discord or the Twitter. Otherwise, we'll talk about it soon. Obviously, I want to pay some attention to the game as well. Thank you, Slowly. I'm very happy. It's exciting. Now I gotta be a professional, guys. We can no longer be a baboon. Thank you, Hotpot. I can still be a bit of a baboon. In moderation. Hello, Adrian. Thank you, Timmy. Little whiskey. I'm having one. I already called it a celebration whiskey. Well, I'll address it properly after this game, guys. But I really appreciate the love. And I'm obviously very excited. And then I'll elaborate on it a little bit. We've got a triple Hellion opening here for MilkiCow. This time Mute has a much better setup to deal with this. He's got 2 adepts. He's got a shield battery. So maybe actually a Stargate opening, by the way. I completely missed it. I got distracted. You guys stunned me. So that is what I would like to talk about and elaborate a little bit. The hacker stop. We can take a little look at this Oracle. If this Oracle goes home and the game slows down a little bit, then I'll properly say it. Oh. The Pulsar Beam does not get anything done, and since there is a Cyclone, the Oracle shouldn't be able to do anything. So the announcement that was just made in, or over at Twitter, maybe Blue Sky, maybe Discord, is that I will get a new role in Basilisk, guys, and I'm very, very excited over it. I will still stream Starcraft, I will still cast Starcraft, but instead of just being the commentator and the streamer, I got a promotion, and I am now the manager of esports. And if you guys wonder what on earth does that even mean then, Roddy, that means that I will be part of some strategic calls, strategic planning, reaching out to people, entering new games, recruiting people, that kind of stuff. As obviously Basilisk is looking to grow. It's not just going to be exclusive to StarCraft forever. We are going to try to enter new scenes, new games, and I will play a role in that. I will, of course, not be the only guy that's going to make decisions, but yeah, a lot of meetings, a lot of scouting, recruiting, talking. But of course, I will still be a StarCraft 2 streamer and caster as well. It's a bit of a 50-50, you guys can say. But instead of all streaming, you can now say that I officially have a job. Hope you got a raise. I prefer not to comment on it, but I'm very happy. I hope that says enough. Yeah, obviously very excited. So it's similar to, obviously you guys know TLO, and you guys know what TLO does for Shopify. Think of it like that. His first job. I've had a couple jobs. I was an intern in information technology a long time ago. I've been a streamer for a long time, and I've been a full-time employee over at ESL and NASL. I've had jobs, guys. But yeah, instead of just being a streamer and a commentator, we're going to do a little more behind the scenes, help out, and obviously very excited for, I would say, a new part of my life. Comes with some responsibilities. Will eventually come with obviously expectations to deliver right, recruit the right people, enter the right games, find the right talent. But I find it very, very exciting. Indeed, a bit of a new page. But, as I said a couple times, I'm still gonna obviously be a commentator in Starcraft as well. We're still gonna be a streamer. And hopefully we can continue to cast the boys in as many tournaments as possible. But that will no longer be my only focus. The SCV's got us around on the Adept. The MilkiCow has made a move out. It doesn't look like an incredibly scary move out. I mean, he's got 35 Marines. And he does have 2 medevacs showing up. I feel, guys, for 7 minutes into this game, this move out by the Russian Terran, tiny bit lackluster. As we'll obviously talk more about the rest a little bit later. Guardian Shield gets activated, the SCVs get slaughtered. Our Peruvian Protoss Mute is gonna show us that if he doesn't lose 20 workers in the beginning of the game, the man is a gamer. This looks strong. Looks a little bit like Roddy. Looks like Wingant in his prime on the ladder as he's taking down GM Terran after GM Terran. And Milky in all sorts of trouble. Does have a couple Widow Mines. Maybe we would have dragged the Widow Mine shot over the buy units. Did we settle the last prediction? Yes, we did. And we are currently in a new prediction. Deadlock team. Obviously, I love Deadlock, but I do not accept the role to them. Be like, oh, herp, I really love these games. Let's dive into it. Things need to make sense. There needs to be a plan. There needs to be a strategy. I think right now it would be a little bit early. I know that Virtuous Pro obviously did enter Deadlock, but I think that has a lot to do with how big the stream of Michael S1 is. Having him on board, him represent the team, you know, then they get something out of it immediately. But if Deadlock continues to be a slam dunk success, of course I'll keep my eye on it. But now my job is to keep an eye on all the games and all the scenes. And learn as much as possible. The Widowmine connects with the Phoenix, the other one connects with the Zealot, and Milky, despite the fact that he's now the one who's down 22 workers, is still battling, but yeah, dealing with 2-3 Phoenixes and a few Zealots is one thing, now also dealing with an Immortal, with Archons, is a whole different story. Do I consider switching games? No, it's not about it being lucrative. I mean, technically, like, it's not about streaming right now for me, first. So I will stream what I love. And I obviously love streaming Starcraft, so I will do that. And whenever I feel like playing Macabellum or Deadlock, I'm gonna do that. Because everyone should be allowed to play whatever video game they want. But I will not be trying to enter any other game as a commentator. I have no desire for that. Couple Widow Mines connect with the Zealots. We have 4 Archons. That is way too many to deal with if you just have 27 Marines and a couple Widow Mines. Triple drop into the natural on the side of Milky. Honestly, solid effort here by Milky. After how bad that SCV pool worked out. In game 1 it was Mute who was mega dead, but then he kind of started battling and he really put up a proper fight here in game 2. It is MilkiCow who's in all sorts of trouble, but this is actually an excellent drop. And as good as Archons and Immortals are in fighting a couple of Marines in the middle of nowhere, not very sweet when it comes to running from the natural all the way deep into the main, back into the natural. That's not what Archons are made for, guys. Thank you, Satterval, for the 47 months. Yep. All the esports are interesting. But obviously some scenes are going to be a lot easier to enter than others. We will see. I'm very excited. I'm excited to get to it. I've already been getting to it a little bit, of course. And there are some plans, and it's not like about me. I'm just a member of the team. But see it, guys, as you know, someone whose opinion will be heard and valued. And then obviously I will have the cool opportunity to hopefully reach out to some awesome nerds in different games, maybe a Starcraft one day, you never know, and see if they are interested in working with us and getting on board. I know Wingant, we've been talking about it. LinkedIn profile. I don't know if that's needed, mate. I'll just link my Twitch profile. This is who I am. This is what I've been doing for the last 12 years. I guess we only have 100 hours of storage these days. So. Still, that's enough, mate. Mute is still looking in like he's in a really good spot, and he should be able to close this game out. But I'm definitely a little bit stunned by the flow of this game. After that initial SAV pull, this game was hell for the Terran. There was really nothing to get excited over for Milky. But then the moment that a few Widow Mines connect with the Phoenix and it's just gateway units that you have to worry about for a little bit and Blink is not done, and all of a sudden you can start dreaming again. This would have never happened if Mute was able to keep a couple of the initial Phoenix alive. He would have made his life so much easier. But I don't think he's very worried yet, and I don't think he should be very worried. But these are still annoying scenarios to play where, you know, you're in a good spot, but you don't have the most mobile army, you don't have extended turbulence, you don't have blink. It's a little bit tricky. Hello, Lino. On a legit blue social media. Guys, most of the gamers are not on LinkedIn. You know, a big part of my job will be reaching out to gamers in different scenes and, you know, seeing what their scene and their game is all about and then wondering if it's interesting for us or not. Most of those gamers I'm not going to find on LinkedIn. But I'm very excited. You guys are very excited with my LinkedIn profile. That's the one thing I haven't thought of yet, but maybe we'll get there. Milky is still in a lot of trouble. Down 45 supply. Mute is maybe just waiting for Blink to finish up, because then it's going to be a little bit easier to micro his army. At least we've got a competitive series on our hands. So far in these two games, we've kind of seen it all. We've seen Milky get very far ahead and struggle, and we've seen Mute get very far ahead, and I wouldn't quite say struggle, but we've seen Milky play pretty damn well from a very tough position. And now I'm wondering what game 3, 4, and hopefully 5 will show us. Milky is still going to try as he stims his entire bio army, but that's so much Protoss. That is so much Protoss. It shouldn't go his way. Thank you, Crispy. A single Widow Mine is not going to fire. Maybe this means that I get to spend some time with TLO one day, guys. That's very cool too. Zealots are getting blown up by the mines, but as long as Mute just gets a couple units here, he is obviously going to be fine. He's getting 6. The Orbital is going to land. The Orbital should die here. If it's not the Orbital, it's the Terran army. And after 14 minutes, it is finally Mute, who obviously got in an incredibly good position after stopping the initial SCV Marine attack with a single tank. Now I want to alt-tap quickly just to see and see if we can touch upon it briefly. But first I want to hop into the lobby of game 3. I don't want to delay the gamers with my personal life announcement. But yes, the TLDR, guys, is we got a little promotion. And we are going to work on a lot of very exciting projects in the future. And I'm excited over it. As much as I love streaming, it's obviously also nice to have something else that you can get excited over. Not everything always has to be on camera. I will still stream. I will still commentate. Maybe a little bit less, because, you know, I don't think I will have the time to do it for 200 hours a month. But, of course, Monday nights, Friday nights, and then whenever we feel like it. And there is nothing else that's very urgent. We can still stream, and we can still do our best. Let me hop into the lobby, and then I can alt-tap quickly and see. Hello, Dorado. Thank you, Kieran. You have any ideas of what games you're looking at? Yes, of course, but I'm not allowed to share that. That comes with the job, guys. The days of Roddy being an open book and just sitting here and yapping and sharing everything, they're gonna have to be over, and I'm gonna have to be a pro. But no, of course. And as soon as there are things that I'm allowed to share, I will gladly always share it with you guys, either here or Discord or somewhere else. But that's not something that I can currently comment on. Yeah, it's a new day. I feel like that picture, not the most flattering picture by me. It was a rough month. I don't know. I don't know where TKO is. Basilisk LinkedIn hoodie soon. Sure. Thank you, Stealth Vapor, for the 50 months. Yeah. What is bout? Bout is like a match. Basilisk Grubby. It's funny you say that. I mean, that Grubby is obviously sick. We'll see. But like Warcraft 3 is a very niche game. Starcraft is already a bit of a niche game. But you never know. You never know what's possible in the future. Thank you, Norbash Bash. Appreciate all the love, guys. I'm obviously excited over it, and I hope that you guys will obviously over time can see some of the things that I'll be working on, and that hopefully I had a little contribution to. It all excites me. Exciting days. And now I can finally school Reynor and tell him to play some more StarCraft. No. Joke. Reynor's happiness is what's most important to me.
Round 3. Fight.
Bottom right side of El Dorado. We are looking at the main base of our Peruvian Protoss, tying things up after a W on Amygdala. This is Mute. Bottom left side of El Dorado. We are looking at the main base of our Russian Terran player. Taking the 1-0 lead earlier, losing game 2 after the Marine SCV move out. Did not work out for him, but he played damn well after he was in trouble. It's MilkiCow. Does this mean that Pi is your official administrative assistant? I don't believe that that's part of any budget yet, but you know, you never know what the future brings, Nonimba. Give it a couple years and hopefully I find all the beautiful diamonds out there and I pick all the correct games and I make some brilliant plans, and then perhaps there is a world where I can hire Pi as my assistant. I think for now I'm just gonna have to do it myself. Milky took the wrong base. BBEX, mate. Representing BBEX. I have nothing but love for Mute. Or for any team that he represents. This is one hell of a start by MilkiCow. I mean, taking a different base is one thing. But taking a CC first on the low ground. And then hiding your... Oh my goodness, Mute snipes the SCV. That's big.
First blood.
I don't know what this is, guys. I don't know what's happening over here in game 3 between these two gamers. What? Okay, guys. I don't know what was in that borscht that was boiling earlier while he went AFK winning game 1. CC first at the third base location. First barracks in the back of the natural. Barracks number 2 and 3 all the way in the back of the main. Oh my god, and it's actually working. Oh my god. Mute has scouted this, and in Mute's mind, maybe this is like a proxy 2 Rex, 3 Rex, SCV Marine all in. Oh no. I mean, obviously the sentry is going to scout it, but this is so sad for Mute. He's opening up double gate robo high ground shield battery. He's giving this all the respect in the world. He's giving this more respect than I can ever dream of in any meeting I'll have. As the manager of esports. Does sound good, doesn't it? I'm excited. Uh-oh. Now Mute is going to scout it with his hallucinated Phoenix, and he's going to be like, are you kidding? This has to be a joke. 2 racks in the back of the main. He's going to scout a 3rd orbital, maybe in his mind. Obviously, now he knows the sector. And Nice says, you know what? Okay, I'm not even going to play this game out anymore. We're going to go with 4 gateways and a warp prism, and we're just going to attack. I like it. You may as well, right? Yeah, I think you may as well. But I feel that Milky should just float over the orbital back into the natural. Obviously, Milky doesn't know yet how ridiculously successful this mind game was. And now he's going to see the move out of 2 Stalkers, a Zealot, and a Sentry. But this might help him. Because now you can indeed just evacuate the low ground immediately. You have a bunker here. But what he doesn't know is that there is also a Robo. It's going to be really hard for MilkiCow to get a scout off into the main base. And if the Prism sneaks into either corner of the natural or into the main base, Mute is mega all in, guys. He's down 8 workers, he's down a base. We are 4 gating with a Prism. We had Mr. Bitter play some games for us earlier. This is definitely what we did once upon a time. 4 gateway, war Prism. You heard about Pluto, thank you so much, mate. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the 8 months and the kind words. Thank you, Jay, as well. 2 Marines and a Marauder inside of the bunker. Milky needs, I want to say SCVs to repair it, but the thing is there's a whole bunch of force fields available. SCVs need to be pulled immediately. They will get pulled. Force fields are good. That's going to make it impossible for these SCVs, but, you know, Mute needs a lot more than a bunker or a couple SCVs. The Mute needs to win the game here. And there's obviously a very good chance that he will. He's got a big army. It's a very basic army. He's got force fields. He's going to drop force fields. There's a gap. There is a gap. Milky could have maybe saved those SCVs. At least a couple of them. 5 or 6 of them. But second bunker is going to get cancelled immediately. Adept count is 7. Adepts are actually very useful here because A, they're kind of tanky, and B, they deal with SCVs and they deal with Marines rather well. So they can soak up some shots and they can definitely deal out a lot of damage. And then you hope that some of the other units can finish it off. Either a sentry, one taps some SCVs or Marines. Or if it's a single stalker shot, it doesn't always have to be the third shot of the Adept. Stim is now done, but Milky has already lost so freaking much. Then again, he can honestly be down to 10 SCVs and still be fine. Marines and Marauders. Stim is good enough. Maybe. Yes, no, maybe. This is actually Omega close still. Because once more, MilkiCow has 2 orbitals. Mute has 1 base. The micro on the War Prism is excellent. But Mute needs to win the game here. All this damage, guys, means nothing. On the tank said GG. Yeah, I think it's GG, but I actually think Milky... Well, that's 4 more Stalkers. We need to go into the main. Milky needs to go back into the main. Those 4 final Stalkers. 1 more Marauder just popped. Every Marauder is so important. These Stims, it's SCVs and a Marauder. What else do we have? 1 Marine. It's just barely not good enough. It is Mute with a Prism and 5 Stalkers that wins the game. 1 base, 4 gateway. Our Peruvian Protoss Mute takes the 1-0 lead. Whew. that is a roller coaster of emotions if you're Mute. Because at first you're just like, oh my god, what is happening? And then you're like, well, I'm very safe over here. And then you realize that you really don't need to be safe, but you need to be the one that's going to win. Then it looks like you're going to win. Then it almost looks like you're not going to win because Stim Bio is good. But then the final few Stalkers, like 1 more bunker would have made all the difference. An extra bunker, or if a tiny bit of repair would have kicked in, perhaps even more SCVs on the low ground at first rather than, you know, the initial 10, 11. Server rules, we play everything on Central. Because I highly doubt that Mute has a very good ping. Like MilkiCow did offer. He's like, so we go Europe game 2? And I was like, I don't think that's very fair for a Peruvian Protoss. So just everything Central. I think that's the most fair thing I can do. Classic day 9 advice, if your opponent is doing something weird, to just go fucking kill him. Well, that's definitely kind of what happened here. For Mute is sitting on the high ground, gateways, a robo, shield battery, and he's like, well, I guess we sent it, right? That's all we can do. That's cool. That's very nice for Mute. 1 map away from winning 100 buckies here on the Friday night. Milky says, go, go. Mute says go, go. And we are going to send it. Ultra love. Seems like these guys are not incredibly fond of the 3 new maps we have in our map book. But it's been a fun series. Definitely needed that, guys. Thank you, JJ. Yeah, it is the start of a new chapter. I wouldn't totally say that it's like a brand new chapter in life because I'm still a Starcraft streamer. I'm still a Starcraft 2 commentator. And I am not planning on quitting that anytime soon. Basilisk does not want me to quit that. Because A, they like what I do for the team. They like what I do for Starcraft. So it's not like 100% office job now and no longer this. See it more as a 50-50. And then we'll see where the journey takes us. Round 4.
Round 4. Fight.
The bottom left side of Ultra Love, we are looking at the main base of our Peruvian Protoss, taking the 2-1 lead with the 4-gate Prism. No blink, no Zealot charge. This old school Wings of Liberty stuff. It is Mute. Is that why you've been asking about other esports in the Discord recently? Yeah, part of. Obviously, I need to learn. And hey, why would I not utilize all the nerds that are out there that like me and I know have followed different things than me? If you have a Discord with lovely people that some of them are smart, definitely not all of them. Thinking of Pi mostly, but no. Pi is the gem. You know, anything that can help helps, right? Because instead of having to do everything by yourself, if someone can give you a quick rundown of something and then you can work with that knowledge and take it from there. Top right side of Ultra Lava, we are looking at the main base of our Russian Terran. Down 1-2, playing a fun series so far, but I'm sure he wants to win. This is MilkiCow. We don't do West. I'm not gonna let MilkiCow play on West. West is already bad for a lot of Western Europeans at the moment. So asking a kid from Russia to play on US West, I think is pushing it a little bit. Central is the most fair, guys. And we just play everything on Central. And maybe there's a small ping advantage for Milky or Mute, but it's the best we can do. I think playing on Europe is silly. Playing on West is silly. This is the best that we can do. Thank you, Kansas. Appreciate it, matey. Let's hope there is more good news real soon, guys. Because obviously getting a little tired of that EWC countdown. Well, lying to us over and over again. I was really hoping that we could have combined all the good news. But yeah. Apparently that one is coming soon. The promotion is not coming soon. That's done. It's settled. They're stuck with me. At least for a little while. Hopefully. Marine into 2 Hellions as the barracks and at the factory are going to do a little swapperoo. That's going to get a couple of shots off. And that is a dead SCV. So that's a decent start here for Mute. Not a Phoenix opening. A Phoenix Zealot is really starting to take this matchup by storm, eh? I feel like I've been sitting here as crazy old man screaming about it for years. No one played it. Only Phoenix Colossus or just Twilight. We had to wait until 2025 until some other Protoss that people actually take serious plays Phoenix Zealot. And now all of a sudden everyone's like, hey, it's pretty good. Should do it more often. Hello Adrian, how are you feeling, mate? Are you ready to play some PvP against the youngster? DNS in his first main event, I think. I feel like I have had DNS obviously in the past, but I don't know if DNS ever played main event. It's been a little while. You gotta give some love to the old school guys out there in Starcraft. And DNS, I would almost say as old school as they get. Don't know when I started watching Le Adrien his games, but it's a long time ago. Also means we can update all of our bios, guys. Dark Force is old school, yeah, but that's just I played a long time ago and hasn't done anything in like 12 years. Started working for Pinnacle Esports. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but that's what Dark Force was up to as the Widowmine shot connects with the Phoenixes, splashes over all of them. Energy recharge does get used, but that healthy Cyclone could become a tiny bit of an issue here. Apparently MilkiCow does not want the smoke, does retreat, runs back, kills the first Phoenix, kills it at depth, might kill the second Phoenix here. I mean, Mute gets the Cyclone, but I always want to ask the caster question, at what cost? Losing so many of your Phoenixes early on is painful. Economically, the game obviously looks mega for Mute. He's working with an 11 worker lead. Zealot charge is 70-80% done. But if he struggled in that previous game, after losing the majority of his Phoenixes, I don't think this really looks all that sexy. Gonna drop a robot now, guys, but you're gonna just be stuck with Zealots and then maybe this guy is wild. Mute is a gamer and he's wild. We're all over the place. I would not be happy if I was Mute. be dead honest, because I feel like aggressively there's not a whole lot I can do now. Now obviously leave it up to me to say that, and then you know, Prism flies into the main with 2 Archons and 4 Zealots get warped in, 18 Zealots storm on top of the 3rd, and the game is over, and be like, well, I thought you didn't like it for Mute, Roddy. It's like, yeah. This is, I really hate opening up with Phoenix and then losing all the Phoenixes rather quickly and then being stuck on Zealot charge. And I have the feeling that Mute is it's like he was almost expecting some follow-up aggression based on the early Archons here, the pretty high Zealot count. If he can just get 1-1 and we start battling and dropping by the time the blink is done, it's obviously not bad for Mute, as he's now saturating his 3rd base. That's something he can work with. But I guess it's a bit tough for MilkiCow to lift the orbital warp and land it over at the 3rd. Because the doors are going to be wide open, and if you don't have stim yet, you don't really want to expose your bio units. I mean, it's just playable, I guess. It's playable for both. Maybe Mute is happy. Milky probably doesn't feel happy, but if he realizes that all he's going up against are just the Zealots, Stalkers, and Archons, I don't think he needs to be too upsetting. Wouldn't hate it if MilkiCow would temporarily knock down the cooling tower. Since a lot of Protoss players obviously love to warp in a decent amount of gateway units. We actually only have 6 gates. It's not even that crazy for 3 bases. If anything, I feel like Mute could get a few more. But there is a scary moment where gateway units are very good, and then if you get enough bio, or you're protected well, or you know where the units are coming from, then it's less good. This observer is way too valuable right now, by the way, for Mute. Milky cannot be running around with this many gateway this many bio units and not pick off an observer like that. And it's good news for our Russian Terran that he does find it. He's got a tiny upgrade lead. That's obviously not going to last too long. Widowman kind of is 3, but we're about to get 5. The Liberator is used for this. I think Milky should be okay here. He's gonna have to micro well. He's gonna have to keep tabs on his army. He's gonna actually take a fight with a small portion of it on the left side. It is match point for Mute, guys. If this attack is good enough for the Peruvian Protoss, he's the one who walks away with $100 here on the Friday night. But he is walking through that Liberator. He is eating tank shots. He's eating Widowmine shots. I don't really believe in it, but maybe it is good enough. Maybe he just has so much. Extra Widowmines, though, are going to be big here. They're going to be really big. It's not a success yet. Getting 17 SCVs is awesome, but he's lost so many freaking gateway units that I don't think it's good enough. One Archon gets picked off, the other one is very, very, very low, but it does get saved. A big additional warp in, but Milky is still battling incredibly well. The army supply is heavily in favor of MilkiCow. Mute needs to stop fighting and just kind of start buying time, and then hoping he can get some value out of the 4-base setup. Well, I'm afraid that our Peruvian Protoss is a bit overeager. I think he stuck around a little bit too much. Eats a Widowmine shot there as well. That is going to hurt. 3 more Stalkers will fall. He's panic shooting at the depot. That's painful. Even losing these final 5 Stalkers is really painful. I think, guys, for the first time tonight, we are going to Game 5. It was a bit of a one-sided night up to this point. We had a 3-1. We had a 3-0. This series, it seems like it is going to go to distance unless Mute can pull off a fantastic hold. Trying to probably buy some time for extended thermal lens for +2 attack, +2 armor, but I don't really believe in it. Well, Milky with just an excellent hold, good SCV pool, good army positioning, Liberator positioning was solid, Widowmine connections were really good, the tank positioning was really good. Milky just played a good game. It was, like, I like this position, but it definitely wasn't easy. It's not like, oh yeah, it's a free win from here on out. It's like, oh. Still clearly in some trouble, but he played it well. Now Mute is not down and out yet. He's got Blink Stalker, so he can blink forward. He sniped 1 medevac with cargo. He sniped the second one that I believe was empty, but it was kind of hard to see. War Prism is now going to try to make some magic happen on the other side of the map, and every second that goes by is pretty good for our 2-2 Protoss. that still has 3 bases, that has a Colossus, gonna warp in a couple Zealots in the main. We were talking and dreaming about a game 5. Mute's got different ideas. Milky is still just a little bit everywhere. He's losing so much. Milky has not paid attention at all. He's gonna Doom Drop instead. Oh my goodness, it's kind of Mute who's now turning this around. Milky needs to snap cancel this command center because he cannot afford to lose a few hundred additional resources. This is a better than Bruce Protoss army. There is a High Templar that does not have Storm. Oh, the Widow Mines! The Widow Mines, and Mute doesn't pay attention, so he eats all of them in the main base. Protoss is losing everything. What on earth is happening here in game 4 between Milky and Mute? The Viking count is 2. 2 is not great. Get a couple shots off perhaps. One more Marauder pops out. Stims immediately. Can Milky keep the main base safe? It is starting to look like it. One more Marauder. Not quite looking like it. And there's 3 Stalkers, a Sentry, and a High Templar that's throwing water balloons. That's still going hard. This is a pretty good army, but yeah, I think the army is good enough. This game is just nuts. One more Marauder pops, but it does die. As Mute finds himself on top of the production of the Terran. 53 workers against 8, but obviously Milky can do something about it. He can do something about the natural, he can do something about the third. There's a lot of, yeah, do we still have the Templar Archives? Oh, he lost that one. That stinks. I still like it. Oh, fight! Milky needs to start fighting. I don't think the probes should get a kill here. Maybe one Marine. Every single Marine does count at this point. He almost even gets a second Marine, but that is all the workers going down on the side of the toss. A few of the workers were... We don't even do this base, I think. It's too close. What is happening, guys? What is happening? Milky will start mining a little bit again. We're gonna try to take a little look at the bottom right. This is where as a Terran you hold your heart that there are not 14 Zealots storming on top of your army. But if you see there are no Zealots, you kill a gateway and the Nexus gets cancelled and there are no workers, you start hoping again. 4 Marines and 2 Mules in the middle of nowhere. Absolute scenes between MilkiCow and Mute here on the Friday night. Game 4, match point for Mute. But Milky, his army is twice as big. The Vikings have killed the Colossus. Oh, that's mega. That is mega. Not 1, but 2 Colossi have died to the 4 Vikings of MilkiCow. And that should really do it. Because now this Protoss army does not stand a chance. Nice feedback by the High Templar. Just look at me. I don't just throw water balloons. One shot's a ghost. Maybe we should cancel this Nexus. I know he's got a lot of money, but... You know, if we have this one and this one, I don't think we really need this one. Did he lose the Robo too, guys? He does have a Robo and a Robo Bay. He could technically rebuild the Colossus. But obviously he doesn't really have time. 10 workers against 0. MilkiCow with the 0 SCV dream. Should have saved the workers. I'm sure he would have loved to. Instead, Mute is going to try to take a fight here near batteries. That's kind of smart. Every unit that he kills is obviously big too, but... Just afraid there's a little too much firepower on the side of the Terran. It's so hard to micro against a bunch of thin Marauders with medevac support. Shooting at a Viking is nice because obviously Milky doesn't have the money right now or the resources to repair these units. 6 Stalkers. 12 workers. 12 workers. Has the money for a Colossus. He's gonna continue to kinda, it's excellent what he's doing over. Oh, a dark, what if a Dark Shrine? Is there a world where the man can get a Dark Shrine? There is only 1 ghost on the map. This is the last orbital. The last orbital dies too. But Protoss buildings cannot fly. MilkiCow now even more committed than before. Mute is just gonna try to continue to buy time with a couple Stalkers. Every unit that dies. Oh, this is big? Mute might just win this. Mute might just win this, even though it's 12 army supply against 34. He's got 5 bases against 0, but he doesn't have army. He doesn't have units that battle. What he does have is 12 workers mining right next to the bases of MilkiCow. Milky should probably split up his racks and scout with it a little bit. There is 1 mining base. The Stalker count is increasing. He snipes another Marine. Every Marine counts. Milky is now probably wondering where on earth is he mining from. He is being revealed. Mute can actually do it. Mute can actually do it. Medevac's obviously low on energy. There are 6 Marines somewhere. Yeah, one bad blink and he can no longer do it. Milky finds one of the 13 probes. He's gonna kill it. Still has not seen the one mining base. The one that the stalkers. This might be bad for Mute. Because now Mute is pushing the Rex towards the one mining base. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Milk is obviously not going to be very happy to see that. The gateways are going to be unpowered once more. There are 8 gateways in total. That's a lot of shield batteries though. And Marauders with Stim. 4 Marauders, 2 Vikings. The Stalker count might just be too high, right? Milky immediately realizes that what he needs to battle is that army. Can he be there in time before the batteries? He's going to boost. What a game! One of the most epic games we've had in a little while, but it's really starting to look like it is Mute. Mute just has a lot, unless he messes up. Oh, he's out of position. He is out of position. MilkiCow finds the Stalkers. It is 10 Stalkers against a couple of Marauders. EMP is big. He needs to kill the pylon or the batteries. Oh. Stims again. And MilkiCow still has plenty of buildings. What a silly game. Now can turn around. Stalkers way out of position. Can you recall? Maybe recalling the Stalkers would have been the play. He is going to recall the Stalkers. What will we do? We're going to fight with Stalkers and probes at the same time. Milky cannot afford to lose a single unit. He is going to lose a Marine. He's going to lose the Viking. No, the hot pickup. But there is too much Protoss. It is Mute. For the second time, he has ridiculous games in the Big Brain Bouts. But at this point, I think there is just a little too much Protoss. What a win. The man lost everything. Literally lost everything. But the Nexus right next to the last mining base of MilkiCow gives him enough income to build a couple Stalkers and win the base trade. That was sick. Congrats to Mute. Unfortunately for me, no game 5, and I would have loved to see a 5th game. But that's pretty good. That is really, really good. After 18 minutes and 29 seconds, it is our Peruvian Protoss who gets the 100 buckies as he becomes one of the lads to be a champ in the Big Brain Bouts. I got a lot of notifications. I all tapped and I shouldn't have done that because I was like, notification, DM. It's a little much. It's hard to speak and run a Starcraft event at the same time. But obviously I'll get back to everybody soon. Whoa. Well, turns out that I'm not always the only one who's wrong. I didn't see this. Congrats, Mute. That was a sick final game, mate. I thought you were so dead. I really thought after that fight you were so dead. Incredibly well done. Turns out that I was pretty wrong about some of the other series, but it seems like you guys were pretty wrong about this one. Our Peruvian Protoss gets the dub, wins the 100 American buckies, and can now call himself a Big Brain Bouts winner. Well done. Another really, really good series, mate. The one against Sevedes was... I think that's epic. That's like once in a year that you play a series like that, but this was an incredibly good one too. I will go ahead and start up our final prediction. Then we take a tiny break. Then we'll take a look at some of the messages and what else. And I'll answer any questions that you guys may have for me. But the main event of the Big Brain Bouts number 87 is DNS versus Arrockfire. A old school versus new school French PvP. And I really wonder what you guys vote for. It's a 150-50 split. Do you guys believe that the Frenchies will do it for the old folks? No. DNS, our old school French P. Or do you guys believe in Arrockfire, a youngster? I think it's always fun to have two guys from the same country play against each other that are completely different generations. If not one, might be 2 or 3 different generations. I think it's going to be fun. I think it should be close, should be competitive. It might be a short series. It might be a one-base series. It might be epic macro. It might be drama, just like Mute against Arrockfire. Gave you 165. Yeah, no. I'm shocked to see there was only 11% of the votes going on Mute. I know that Mute is not a name that a lot of people are going to be mega familiar with, but we often have some diehards, and most of the time you guys trust my matchmaking. And I guess after some of the series earlier, Roddy lost it. Got a promotion. He's an office man now. He's a suit. He doesn't know what's happening in the Starcraft streets anymore. But turns out in the 3rd series of the night, I've already redeemed myself. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take a very, very tiny break, and then I'll be back for our PvP main event. And, of course, we'll answer a couple questions. We'll see you guys soon. Whoop, whoop.